Now, meanwhile, our Annabelle Childers just returned from covering the protests out in Minneapolis. She spent several days helping out our sister station there, which I know that they are very grateful for, but we are very grateful to have her back. So I think what's interesting is, I mean, you have seen the center of these protests. Is there anything that struck you immediately when you got there?
Yeah, so Christy, we got there Thursday night. So that was right after Trump had threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act. So tensions were very high at that point. We arrived at around 8:30 p.m., right as some of the protesters were starting to bang on vehicles that were coming out of the Whipple Federal Building. And so that was some escalation on the part of protesters. And then we started to see agents assemble behind the fence of the Whipple building, and that was the first clash we saw. So from the very beginning, we saw some tear gas deployed and a lot of tension playing there.
So I'm sure that you were able to talk to some of these protesters. Did they explain to you their reasoning for being out and what they were hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, so the main point from all of them was they want ICE out of Minneapolis. And so there were some protesters that were Minneapolis residents or Minnesota residents, but we also talked to people who had flown in from different places, and they said, we want ICE out of Minneapolis. We don't want ICE anywhere. And so we're going to come be a part of this protest here.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in other protests in 2020. People coming from different cities into wherever protests might have been for whatever reason. Did you see how law enforcement responded to these?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, at first, when the federal agents get involved, I think that was where the clashes really escalated. But on Saturday, starting on Saturday, county sheriff's deputies there, the Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies, they started stationing right in front of the protesters to try to keep those protesters on the sidewalk. And once they got involved, we really didn't see clashes between the federal agents because they weren't coming out of the building anymore. So the altercations were a lot more verbal at that point, and we didn't see tear gas deployed. So I talked with some protesters who said they were grateful for the presence of the sheriff's deputies there, but then other protesters said they felt like those sheriff's deputies were siding with ICE.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. There's so much agitation that it's
Truly
just hard to take it all in. Great job, and great job here. Thank you so much. We're so glad you're back.
Thanks.
Always glad to have Annabelle back.